Hey, how was that last trip you took? How was that cruise? How was that movie? Hi, welcome to another episode of Unlocking Mind Behind Make More Work Less. My name is Fong. I'm an entrepreneur, business strategist, real estate investor, speaker, and also a best-selling author. And every single day, I help others unlock potentials and guide them to succeed. Today on Unlocking Mind, we talk about another cognitive bias. And the reason why I have this show is so that we can better understand how our minds work, make better decisions, build strong relationships, and of course, avoid certain cognitive traps. So for today's cognitive bias, let me ask you that question again. How was that last trip you took? How was that last movie you watched? How about that last event that you attended? Was it good? Yeah, of course it was. And is that all you really remember? Think hard. Was there anything negative about it? You may be thinking it really deeply before you come up with this negative experience, or in fact, you do have this negative experience, but you actually don't recall the exact details about that negative experience. Well, let me share something with you. Many years ago, we took a family trip to Vegas, and it was supposed to be a wonderful time. It was our very first family trip to Vegas. We've never experienced Vegas in our lives, and we thought, hey, it's going to be an amazing time. Let's go pick a show. And before we actually picked a show to watch, we kind of surveyed some of our friends or families, and one of our family members actually suggested the one show. And he goes, this is a great show, very artistic, you're gonna love it. And so that's what we took. We took that information. We did not go and do more research. We kind of took his word for it and went to that show. Well, we went to that show and we realized very quickly that it was not exactly the type of show that it was a whole family can enjoy. Just think about it when we're all very young and going to with our parents, and it was just very awkward situations. I'll let you fill in the blanks. So it was a very awkward scenario, very uncomfortable scene where we were watching the show. My mom was not very happy about it at all and was completely devastated about what we were watching and thought our lives were ruined and that our minds were messed up and all that kind of stuff after being exposed to this kind of show. And then afterwards, the whole trip is done. We got back to Canada and we met up with our relatives. My aunts and uncles asked them, so how was this trip? She goes, it was great. What did you do? Oh, we went and looked at different hotels. The buffets were great. And they're like, oh, did you watch any shows? She goes, no, we didn't. Completely forgot about it. And well, that exactly is what happens when we take those negative experiences and we kind of forget them. That is what happens when we go to events, when we go to trips. We tend to forget the negative stuff and kind of remember more of the positive stuff. So what exactly is that? That is the fading effect bias. That is when memory is associated with negative emotions tend to be easily forgotten more quickly than those associated with positive emotions. We tend to like to keep those good feelings in our minds. We tend to like to remember those good feelings, those good stories, so we can share them again and again. Now, certain people like to even remember some of those negative stuff. So sometimes this fading effect bias doesn't affect them that much. But if you start remembering only the negatives, then it's only going to prevent you from doing more things in the future. So it's actually a good thing that we have this fading effect bias. So we don't have to always remember all those negative details that cloud our judgment or prevent us from doing certain things or taking certain actions. So the thing is, when we actually do have negative thoughts, there's some things that we could actually do. One is, what do we learn from those negative situations and change it into a positive, change it into a learning situation. And then always be grateful for what we have, always be grateful for the things that we are able to do. And therefore, we are not so focused on that negativity. So if we are subject to remember all that negative stuff, to inflict more of this fading effect bias, we could think more about the gratitude, focus on the positives, and changing those negatives into a positive or a learning experience. And by doing so, we will fall prey to the fading effect bias, but it's sometimes for our own good and allows us to grow, allows us to take more action, allows us to seek more adventure and also opportunities. So the thing is, when it comes to positive stuff, we tend to remember them more vividly, have more details and more clearly. Whereas past negative stuff, we are more vague. We're so honed on to that emotion of that certain time, but we don't actually remember the details of it. So why not have more clearer images? Allow this fading effect bias to kick in and remember more of the positive, focusing on the positives more and learning from those experiences. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Fading Effect Bias. And if you did, please go back and watch some of my other episodes on Unlocking the Mind. And of course, we have a lot of other shows, the Peak Potential Success Show, the Make More Mind Bites, and of course, the Mastermind Bites that's up every single week. So until next time, thank you very much for your likes, support, your subscriptions, and your comments. I love seeing those comments. And until next time, today is the day to lock your peak potential. I'll see you later.